Excuse me, Mr. Coon? Was it you? Did you blow up the bathroom? Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. We've got a new Datacron set, and I'm happy to report that it's not as insane as the last one. Of course, we'll still have 2 months remaining on the last one, so we'll see how that all progresses in time. Huge shout out to my patrons. By the way, before we get started, you guys are amazing, and I couldn't do this without you. Thank you guys so much for your support, guys. Really, I'm just so appreciative. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. And guys, if you want to support this channel for free, all you gotta do is hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, comment. Let's mount the algorithm, right? Yeehaw. Yippee-ki-yay, if you will. Let's get to it, folks. Let's get to it. So this one's scale is way smaller. This set, I didn't know how to spell individually, apparently. Individually. I was thinking of food, vittles. But, they're individually strong Datacrons, folks. A lot of, like, kind of god mode, like, bonus leadership levels abilities that are just completely bonkers. And I know that that's not too uncommon for a Datacron set, but that's basically what this set is about. And the factions are all fairly small. Jedi are a big faction, but the rest of them are, you know, like I said, fairly small, maybe unfairly small. Stats are, this is the weirdest thing about the stats. The stats, there's 8 of them this time instead of 6, so it's even going to be harder to roll. Defense percent remains an amazing stat. There's no way to deny it, but it's already very difficult to get one Datacron with all of the right level 6s, level 9s, level 3s, and then get all one stat like defense percentage. And I would say, as pretty usual, as is pretty common, the defense percent and all the other stats are typically going to be a stretch goal. Not to mention, there's armor pen and resistance penetration. Remember, armor pen only works for characters who do physical damage, and resistance pen only work for characters who do special damage. You can find what they do, what kind of damage they do, in the actual abilities text. So, anyways, I would just mostly leave stats alone unless you have a lot of money. Then, I mean, it's gonna be good. The defense percent is really frustrating to fight, but hopefully you have enough of those from the last set. I don't know. I don't care, man. If you want to roll them, spend your money. Do what you will, man. Okay, so the messy mechanics here, folks, they are all over the place. There are tons of things. We're going to be learning these Datacron kits for a long time and their interactions. Plo Koon and Eth do a lot of stuff. So does Pow. So do a lot of them. And it's just going to cause a big mess because this is like they just released a bunch of new characters to the game. I mean, that's basically what Datacrons are anyways, but these ones, I mean, look at how many lines there are, and they're each individually like, if this happens in this, if this happens in this, if this there's just a lot of if-then statements, and it's not the worst, it's very complicated. Yeah, there's just a lot. On a side note, Light side has some really good level 3s. Dark side has like 0 good level 3s. Like, they can dispel debuffs 25% of the time on activation for your character. It's fairly ho-hum, folks. So, in terms of Rogue One, this one's probably the biggest confusion because... So there's the Rogue One, and by the way, this is maybe the first time, at least the first time I remember it, that a character gets their own level 6. Jin is specifically mentioned in the only good level 6 for Rogue One. It's like, hey, Rogue One gets to do this, and if Jin's on the team, she's gonna assist every time. Which is cool, I guess. I mean, that's nice. I can't remember a time that another character got a level 6. You guys can let me know in the comments, of course. But then, the biggest question mark is Mon Mothma or Saw going to get Pow? Or is someone else going to get POW? And if that happens, then who gets Luthen? Because here's the thing, they both want to go with Mon Mothma. Secretly, that's what they really want. Because POW, every time he attacks out of turn, which Mon Mothma would call him out to attack every turn to assist, he would... there's a couple different things, but... whenever POW assists, I'll read this because the text is a little small. Whenever POW assists, he deals bonus massive damage, which is a crazy amount of damage, as you might imagine, massive, which can't be evaded, and all allies recover 10% health. Who cares about the 10% health? Weird extra thing. Hey, he assisted and everyone healed, and you also destroyed the enemy. Whenever POW uses a special ability, he shocks all enemies for 2 turns, which can't be evaded. This is one of the reasons I said in the infographic that is also, by the way, found on my Discord server. I have an infographic. And, hold on a sec. Okay, we're going to rewind a little bit because I forgot to mention this at the start, but that's fine. I made another infographic. You guys can go find this infographic in its totality, downloadable. You can be the hero your guild needed on my Discord server. It's linked in the video description. You can go find it on my Discord server in the channel called Infographics. Easy enough, folks. So if you look at the infographic, though, then you'll see that I mentioned maybe POW just wants to go with Jedi Master Luke. You never know. It's a really tough thing to do because it's just when he assists. When he assists and Jedi Master Luke calls him to assist, he's doing whatever Jedi Master Luke's potency, or not potency, but protection is, plus the massive damage. And also, one of the reasons I think that we may want to have some potency on a lot of these different teams, because there's a ton of things that it does to your entire opponent's team, but it just says it can't be evaded. It doesn't say anything about can't be resisted. So you can see that I didn't even put that for POW, but potency is going to be a good thing for a lot of these different teams, but it's a tough thing to roll because there's 8 different things you could roll. So just something to keep in mind. Meanwhile, Luthen really wants to go with Mon Mothma as well. He has a cool bonus with Saw, though it's unclear how the interaction goes. With Saw, it's whenever the thing explodes, whenever the grenade thing explodes, then they have protection suppression. And that's great, but does it explode after or before the protection suppression goes away? We don't know. But the thing that that Luthen does really nicely with Mon Mothma is it gives all of them, because he's the one who summons the Rebel Trooper, the Worthless guy, Commander Worthless guy now. Whenever he summons Worthless guy, then the rest of the team for the rest of the fight has riposte, which means whenever you attack out of turn, which is everyone all the time, the whole time everyone is assisting every time, they are consistently hitting under protection, which is really strong, and they all get a bunch of extra damage. It's just a very, very strong ability. So maybe POW goes with Jedi Master Luke, but Jedi Master Luke kind of just wants his own team, as we'll see in the Jedi faction. It's just kind of a mess. Both of them look really good, but POW and Luthen seem like they kind of want to go on the same team, but they can't. I mean, they can, you can't have the level 9s for each of them. Nightsisters. Here's the thing about Nightsisters, guys. We don't even have the 3 mothers, or whatever they're called, the hags, the witches. We don't have them. They're not even out, and they won't be out for a couple more weeks. And they probably will get their own exclusive Datacron, which you have to use with Elsbeth, which she's not even farmable yet and won't be for a while. It's just okay, so they're probably going to end up having a really good thing, right? They're probably going to end up having a really good faction for a second Nightsister squad, and I'm happy for them, I guess. But for people who don't spend a lot of money, or like for me, I'm trying not to spend much at all lately, For people who aren't spending a lot of money, it's a very challenging prospect to even contemplate those Datacrons. So we use the same old Datacron, and we don't even know what mechanics are going to be good because the three mothers, the madres, they're all just going to do whatever they do. We don't know their kit. We have no idea. So who knows what's actually going to be good? Like it's just an exercise in futility. It's not even worth discussing it as long as I have. So same old Nightsisters, and I think that this Nightsister squad is going to be pretty strong, folks. I think it's going to do some cool stuff, but you don't have to change anything. Congratulations. Now, the Jedi are the ones that are going to be really interesting. So, honestly, in Territory Wars, there's this really interesting interaction, folks, where with Eth Koth, which is so bizarre, but first off, you want Eth Koth on a team that allows you want Galactic Republic Jedi, but you want him to be able to gain turn meter, because his whole kit is about gaining turn meter, and there's this interaction where in Territory Wars, if you have the Omicron on Mace, whenever he hits, so the Omicron makes everyone have Shatterpoint, right? And so whenever you hit Shatterpoint, everyone gets Foresight. And that Foresight is going to give you a somewhat endless loop, especially under Kelleran Beck, who's also giving a ton of Foresight. It's just going to be a whole big mess, and it looks like it's just going to be an endless loop. Actually, it does. Of course, you need Mace, and you need to have his Omicron, but once you do, it just seems like there's only a few teams that are going to be able to break that. So, we'll see if CG gets off their hindquarters and actually fixes something. Or, endless loops, they're fun. I can dig it. Eth Koth, not many people are going to have him geared up. He's the one that I would kind of recommend working on, though, guys. His stuff is pretty bonkers. I'll definitely be working on him on my alt. Oh, you know what? I already have that. I have him a Relic 5 on that account, because I bought that stupid Jedi Council bundle. Jedi Master Luke, it looks pretty good because there's a level 6 that just lets you perma-stun everyone, and that one can't be resisted or evaded. So whenever you do a special, the target enemy gets stunned, and the thing about Jedi Master Luke's team is you can kind of just do specials without ever having to do basics. And so if you have Jedi Master Luke, you're just going to be able to perma-stun all the time. This will kill Jedi Master Kenobi squads fairly easily, I think. The one big question being, if you have a Kenobi squad, maybe you do that Retaliate or whatever it's called, the ability that has more words than most. This is the first time for a while that I liked a shorter ability as opposed to the larger one. But, if you put Jedi on defense, the level 6 where they just do damage back to you and reflect damage seems also fairly strong. So, Jedi Master Kenobi on defense with that thing might end up being pretty frustrating. I don't really know. Otherwise, Jedi Master Kenobi with Plo Koon. Plo Koon has a lot of verbiage that it's like he could kind of just go with whoever. Like, he kind of just sets himself up, and then he helps his whole squad. He doesn't necessarily have to be in a Jedi squad. I just put him with Kenobi because I got tired of creating new squads for this slideshow, and I'm done. I'm done with it. So, Plo is really strong, though, in a lot of different places, and that's another one I would recommend, which we'll get to in a little bit. Shakti is a weird one because hers is actually just one line. Hers is like, whenever she attacks out of turn, everyone else who has retribution on her squad also attacks out of turn, also assists. And so, who does she give the retribution to? Clones. She hands it out like candy to them. Whenever they get hit, they get retribution. And so you could set up an interesting thing where whenever someone hits them, you're gonna hit back with everyone, and that seems kind of good. But again, that's another one where she could just call anyone who has retribution to assist. It doesn't have to be General Kenobi could be a good one because he gives everyone retribution on his team if he doesn't dispel any debuffs. So lots of options there. Now, Hey, look at this. I didn't even change the name on the... Oh my gosh. But I'm not going to change it, guys, because I stayed up way too late today to make this video. Faction, God mode. This is Imperial Remnant, folks. And you just have one squad available. And yeah, I guess we do know most of the mechanics for the second Imperial Remnants team. But if you're like me, you haven't even, like, I just lost momentum. I was like, hey, cool, I'm gonna get this Night Trooper, and then they were like, hey, here's a second Death Trooper, the Peridium or whatever, Perineum squad, and you know, that one was great, but I was like, I'm not gonna soft whale on you. I'm not gonna spend any money on you. Just a couple crystals to get to 4 stars. And then when we got to Enoch, I was like, oh, I'll just farm him later. I don't care. I'm just out of it. You know, like it just seems so far off and so tough. So. Yeah, probably some of the crons look pretty good. There's also probably a lot of good stuff for this team. There's probably a lot of good stuff in the other set as well, the most recent set, so don't worry too much about this. One thing I wanted to mention, folks, there's a Master Qui-Gon Cron here, which seems pretty good, but I kind of think that the support level 6 Datacron from set 16 is still going to be the best for the Queen Amidala squad, so I don't think the Master Qui-Gon it necessarily needs that, like, his Datacron. Just throwing it out there, folks. So there's also this thing of I've mentioned it a couple times. There's non-specificity in the mechanics of a lot of these Datacrons, folks, and what that means is, like I've kind of mentioned it. POW. He deals massive damage, which can't be evaded, and all allies receive 10% health. It's just whatever he assists. Someone can call him to assist, and he does the massive damage. It doesn't matter who, as long as he's being called to assist. So the reason he doesn't want to go on like a SAW team is everyone's just kind of individuals. No one really calls him to assist. But on a Jedi Master Luke team, everyone could call him to assist every single turn, and then they get 10% health. Yay! And then, you know, for Plo, whenever another ally uses an ability while they're buffed on their own turn, then Plo assists. And when he assists, then if you read his kit, whenever he assists, he's giving himself defense up, and the defense up does other cool stuff, and then he can do other cool stuff and whatever. But yes, there's some good stuff to have him with Jedi, but he could kind of go anywhere. Like whenever another ally uses it, it doesn't matter. Darth Vader could be the person. He could be on my team. You know, who knows? Shaak Ti, I'd mentioned her as well. Whoever has retribution, it doesn't matter. So POW could go with Jedi Master Luke. Apparently, I love that idea the most. I don't really think it's going to be like the most amazing. Maybe it will, but I keep talking about it. So how to choose which ones to farm, folks. I mean, go look at the infographic, frankly. I think that there are a few that are very compelling. I think Plo, especially. I've been telling you guys forever. He's really good in ships. He's decent, at least, with, like, Starkiller as the Jedi there. He just does a lot of stuff. Maybe we just put Plo with Starkiller, honestly. I don't know. That just, maybe that's what we do. He's going to assist all the time and dispel. Maybe that's where he goes. Honestly, that might be where he ends up. POW... so here's the thing, POW and Plo are both, and ETH, all of those require 0 Chirotech until you get to Gear 12. So fairly easy on the gear requirements, in my opinion. And they're going to be game changers, folks. Of course, if you don't have Mon Mothma, maybe don't work on it. You know, if you don't have Luthen, don't get Luthen's Cron, etc. Use some common sense, which is my least favorite phrase, by the way. I don't like... Anyways, let's move on. So, Nightsister seem like an obvious choice. Like, there's just a few specific teams. Go look at the infographic and make your choices. And I wish you luck on it, folks. This set is way less complex, and I'm grateful for that, because the most recent one, set 16, is a nightmare, and I hope it gets killed with fire. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth prevails, and I hope so do you. Take care, everyone.